Welcome back, everyone, to the Discipline the Gen Show. It is now NFL Week 8. The season is passing us by very quickly. If you're watching live, we appreciate you tuning in. If you're watching on YouTube later, please use the chapters at the bottom of the video, and you can scroll to every single game that you want to hear a breakdown on. As always, we are partnered with betopenly.com that now has juiceless player props. I'll hand the floor to GIno for a few seconds to tell you guys a little bit about that.
My homie, this came from Matty. Matty was the one in my ear. We're adding UFC next, but y'all love player props. I'm just an old man up here. I like betting games, spreads, money lines, and parlays and teasers. Y'all are junkies for player props. So we added player props, juiceless, vigless. Make your own lines and odds. It went really well. We had over 105 bet yesterday, which is like, for us, that's like a high volume day. And that was in day one. So really excited. We added basketball today. We got hockey. We added everything. So get on there. I don't think y'all realize props usually have like 20 to 30% juice on both sides total. So peer-to-peer is cool. But Matty pointed it out to me a long time ago with UFC. He's like, money line makes the most sense. You can see it. With player props, my dudes, you could see plus 100 instead of minus 125, minus 125. It's crazy.
Yeah, and even the DFS apps, it's all baked in there too, so you just don't see it there either. But yeah, betopenly.com, it's in the subscription, guys, or in the description if you guys want to go check it out. So let's go ahead and dive into a quick recap of NFL Week 7. First and foremost, dogs and the under, baby. Up $700 this past week. $100 bettors up $700 this week, up almost $1,400 on the season. For those of you guys that are tuning in and don't know what the dog and unders mean, it's pinned on my IG if you want to go check out that video. But long story short, I'm blindly betting every underdog on the money line parlayed with the same game under and for the whole football season. So I'm going a quarter unit a game. So for me, it's $250 a game. $100 bettors are up almost $1,400 on the season doing that after 7 weeks, and that's with the historically bad week 2 that went 0-16, down $1,600.
And might have Jen's, like, of all the things, we're in a weird space, right? We like fighting with each other. We all like being right. It's hostility. It's money. It's high tensions. This is the weirdest thing to me. Matty has basically put this on a silver platter, and still people throw shade. I don't get it. People be like,
there was only one bad week.
I know, but still people like, show your tickets. Why don't you do more? They're always critiquing you. It's never like, thank you. It's always something.
That's how it is.
And this dude puts it on a silver platter and basically says, hey, if you like the dog money line, you probably should throw the under it.
Yeah.
Basically all he's saying. Yeah. And he's showing you math after math, week after week. I don't know, man. This is a weird one to me because of all the things we do, people hate on this one. I don't get it.
Well, no, the underdogs that had a great week this past week, I think probably if you're in a Survivor League, there's a good chance you might have got knocked out this past week if you didn't already. But anyways, let's dive into the Week 7 recap. GIno's 49ers, hate to do this to him, but lost a second game in the row. We're going to dive into Brock Purdy here in a little bit. Chiefs and the Eagles, the only one-loss teams remaining. The Ravens dominated the Detroit Lions and crushed my underdog of the week. Square play, shouldn't have taken it. Bad pick, 100%, but it is what it is. We lost pretty badly on that Lions bet. And then the Vikings, they're starting to find their stride here. And, they don't have a great record, but they're now plus 2,400 to win the NFC and plus 470 to beat out the Lions in the North. So let's start with the 49ers. What are your thoughts, GIno? How legitimate of a concern do you think there is for Brock Purdy and this Niners team? Scale of 1 to 10, how concerned are you?
3. Debo, he's way better with Debo on the field. It's crazy to me. Everyone says Brock's a system guy. So then our guys are out. He doesn't do as good. And now we should be concerned. You all said that. Like, he's a system guy. So, and also I went back and watched the game. He actually had a very accurate game. CMC fumbling on 1st and goal changed everything that
Yeah.
That ball was basically picked that went touchdown for Minnesota. That was a huge swing right there.
Yeah.
It was just a bad game. We've had back-to-back bad games, and really the only pick that was bad was his one to Juwan. The first one. The second one, he was
That was a
forcing it in there.
weird throw. It was so far off.
Yeah, I think he's a time. People don't realize how much of a timing quarterback he is.
Yeah.
And Juwan might have been off on his route that time, and Brock will get the blame. But no, I'm more worried about our defense. To be honest, I'm not worried about Brock. I'm worried about the fact that people can run the ball and convert their downs on us like it's anyone's business. So
yeah, I'm not concerned at all. I think the 49ers will be just fine. So Chiefs and Eagles, the only one-win teams remaining left in the NFL. Who do you give the edge to right now in your power rankings between those two teams?
The only reason I have the Chiefs there is they won last year, and you guys picked up new players. So, but dude, I've been warning y'all. The Eagles keep getting better every week than the week before, and it seems like my Niners are going in the opposite direction.
Yeah.
That we plateaued at Brock's injury. So, it's just one of those for me that I gotta think the quarterback and the Chiefs defense is slightly better right now, and they could turn it on with that tight end at any second.
Yeah. Yeah. To me, it's 1A and 1B.
1A and 1B, it don't matter.
And then the Ravens dominated the Lions this week. I know the Lions consistently have been a team that's been high in your power rankings, and honestly, they've looked really good up to that point. You know, a crazy stat I saw and it's the immediate second I knew my dog of the week lost. Lamar Jackson was 15-1 against NFC teams. Is that crazy?
That's insane.
I couldn't believe that stat. I saw it on the game in the first quarter. I was like, I might be fucked here.
Oh,
I was like, I can't believe that stat. I didn't even know it. And honestly, we saw the public was all over the Lions this week. I fell for it as well.
I like the Lions.
I thought they were going to go into Baltimore and win that game. I never saw John Harbaugh be so aggressive for once. And I love to see it when I'm betting on the Ravens. I hated to see it when I was against it this week. We'll see if the Lions are able to bounce back. The Ravens are in a tricky spot now. They're like an 8.5-point road favorite now. So we'll get into that here in a little bit. And then last but not least, before we dive into week 8, what do you think about this Vikings team? Because they're 24-1 to win the NFC. They're plus 470 to beat out the Lions. We just saw the Lions get dominated by the Ravens. And the Vikings, I know things had to go well for them to win there, but do you give this team any chance to come back and be a playoff team?
You know, I do. I think the NFC is wide open. I think it's like jumping all around. Everyone wrote off Seattle, like said this is the Niners West. I still think it's the Niners West, but I wouldn't write off Seattle, especially their favorite this weekend. We got another tough game. The NFC to me has the Eagles as the number 1 seed right now. Unfortunately, my Niners are a very talented distant second. Cowboys showed they have flaws.
Yeah.
Lions showed they have flaws.
Yeah.
So after that, if you told me Minnesota could sneak in as a wild card and win a game, I wouldn't think it's crazy. If you told me Seattle,
they could win their division.
Yeah.
I'm looking right now, and honestly, if anyone took the Vikings to win their division before last week happened, that value would have been insane because the Lions go and lose.
Yep.
The Vikings go and upset the Niners. Right now, the Detroit Lions 5-2 in their division. The Vikings are 3-4 and in second, and it's a long season. And I do believe that they have a chance to come back and win that division if we see the Lions play anywhere near what they played like last week. It was embarrassing. Obviously, it's the NFL. They could bounce back and be a great team this next week. So we'll see what happens. But if you guys are watching, maybe it's something you want to take a look at and take a swing at the Vikings. They're plus 470 right now to win the NFC North. So let's go ahead and move on to NFL Week 8. Actually, before that, quick recap of last week. Survivor, GIno, Seattle Seahawks was the winning Survivor pick. Dog of the week, his Pittsburgh Steelers got it done. My Detroit Lions did not get it done. And then he missed on the 2 long shots. We are going to have 2 more long shots for you guys this week on the highest scoring team of the slate and the lowest scoring team of the slate. And then both of our best bets did cash. The Browns, Colts over. Both these teams went over that number.
I was going to say,
they're pretty close. That was 39-38. So
I felt pretty good.
That was probably
the
biggest lock of all time in hindsight, right?
And my Survivor play, I told y'all to take Seattle. Every other play that was top 5 pick lost.
Yeah.
So, dude, my Survivor is for 50 racks. It's down to 40 people. I got to look it up, but
yeah,
it's down low. So I'm getting excited. And then my dog of the week was Pitt. So guys, don't over bet. I'm not making excuses for these losses. You're going to see a lot of red X's next to the highest, lowest, because these pay 15, 20 to 1.
Yeah,
so just be careful betting them heavy.
Long shots. And then my best bet, I'll be the first to admit I got extremely lucky on it. The Bills had 3 points at halftime. They come out, score a couple TDs, 23 points at the end of the game after scoring a 6-point touchdown, go for 2 and covered the 24 and a half. That was a hell of a win. And I got to give a shout out to GIno right here. Up 17 units in the past week. I believe as a community, we're up 40 units in this month. So if you guys want to go join right now, it's $45 a month, just over $1 a day. The link is in the description to become a Discipline to Gens member.
And I want to be clear on this too, because I even think units. So I used to say all that matters is units. The problem is now people misuse units, so it's a lie. Let me put it this way. We're up 40. We're up 40 units, and we're betting a half to 1 unit. So what I think my new biggest one now is multiplier or ROI. It's like, hey, you're up 40 units, but what's your average? If your average bet is 1 unit, that's 40x. So if you know what you're betting out there, Bet Openly has you up 40x because that's where we use the lines and odds, and the algo has been smacking. Matty gives out free plays. He feeds. Trev has been giving out amazing long shots for you DFS junkies. And I'm Mr. Boring Old Me. I'm money line, spreads, totals, and
good balance in there.
It's a good balance for everyone.
Yeah,
so
100%. But yeah, ROI is the game in the NFL. I guess I already went through all this.
That's all good.
All right. Before we dive into the week 8 slate, GIno's going to go over the buy low, sell high spots of the week. For those of you guys that don't know what this means, these are not official picks. This is just showing a team that is coming off of a game where they did not cover versus a team that is coming off of a game that covered. So the thought process behind this is they're good value spots on taking the team that didn't cover versus the team that did cover.
Yeah, I gotta poor Bradley. Bradley, you're getting in trouble. This doesn't make any sense. The teams that we're buying, I don't even know what's going on in the bottom row, but the Dolphins didn't cover, and they're up against a team that did. So the teams that you can buy low and sell high on right now, Dolphins, Niners, Panthers, Packers, Cardinals, Titans, Chargers, and Raiders. So those 8. So just have those because the public is going to be against some of those teams. Now, when you see the Niners and Dolphins, automatically, I'm being real, I would remove them because the public's going to bet them to bounce back.
Yeah. So these are the teams they're playing.
Yeah, I don't think they are though.
Yeah.
Is it?
Patriots play the Dolphins.
The Raiders aren't playing the Bears, unless I'm tripping.
Did he mess that up?
Yeah, like I know the Chargers aren't playing the Lions. Oh, okay, got it. That now it makes sense. Okay, so guys, Brad did crush this. He just got the last 2 wrong.
So just look at the
the last 2.
Okay.
Flip the last 2. So if I'm looking for the most value on buy low, sell high, this is a traditional fade the public. You're getting a couple free points and you're getting everything moving in your direction. The Panthers, my dudes, I know you're not going to like this one. Just trust me here. There's a lot of value on the Panthers. I'll be on the Panthers money line with this one. Matty just said it. People are going to be buying the Vikings real quick. There's value right there on those Packers. This is going to be arguably the biggest one. Maybe this is tied with the Panthers. If you have the stones to bet the Cardinals up against Baltimore, who just whacks a really, really good Lions team, there's value on these Cardinals. And Titans. This Titan team has broke my heart so many times that I hate saying their name, but they're there. And then getting really ugly, these Chargers got to turn around their year. This is a playoff team. These Chargers are supposed to be a playoff team. If they can't get it in gear against these Chicago Bears, now we know it was a pretty cool story with the Bears quarterback, Baguette. I think it's a little drawback here. I like the Chargers. I'm actually surprised the spread's as high as it is. Very surprising. And then last but not least, the Raiders. So
yeah, and to be clear, guys, every team on the top is the value spot, but then the last 2, it's just a typo on the graphic. So the Raiders are playing the Lions, the Chargers are playing the Bears. But the idea behind this, look, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So if you sprinkle on all 8 of these games, you have to go 5 of 8 to make a profit here. So these are just spots to identify. Doesn't mean you should bet every single game here. Just know that those are the buy low, sell high spots.
And equally, if you like one of the bottom row teams, it's a good spot to skip. You're just losing a little bit of value,
Right.
a point or two here and there.
That's a great point. All right, let's dive into some picks. Let's go to Thursday night football, where the Bucs are traveling to Buffalo. The Bucs are a plus 375 dog on bet openly. The spread is 8.5, and the over under is 42.5. What do you like in this game?
Dude, am I out of line thinking that the Bucs are getting kind of disrespected here?
Yeah, so the first thing I saw that stuck out to me in this game, the Bucs are first in the NFL in red zone efficiency defense. Is that crazy?
Dude, they're
They've
dogs.
been really good defensively in the red zone. Now, this is a great matchup for one reason. The Bills are second in the NFL there offensively. So you have the number one red zone defense versus the number two red zone offense. So this is a great matchup.
I just think this 8.5 is way too much. I can't believe it. First, I'm all over Tampa Bay here. There's nothing I saw in the Bills versus the New England Patriots to make me think that this Bills team is as good as everyone else. So there's just something off with them. They're just a zigzag team where some weeks they look dominant, other weeks they look like crap. But this Tampa Bay team is as good as the Patriots, if not better. And you're going to give me 8.5. This seems crazy. If y'all want to be a square, this does actually match a Stanford Wong teaser if you want to take the Bills minus 2.5. But I'm going to also be all over this over. I think something's got to give. The fact that the Patriots were able to score so much against the Bills, I think Tampa Bay is going to be able to bounce back a little bit, put up some points. So I think this is going to be an ugly little game. I think Tampa Bay covers this game. You won't hear me crying if the Bills win the game. But I do think the over 42.5 has a lot of value.
Yeah. So a couple things to look at and to monitor throughout the week leading up to Thursday. Baker Mayfield is questionable. Godwin's questionable as well. The Bills have some injuries too. Jordan Phillips, Dawson Knox. Some trends in the game. The Bucs are 5-11-1 against the spread, coming off of a loss in their last 17. The Bucs are also 18-37 on the road, off a loss in their last 55 games. So they haven't been good.
They have not.
There, the under is hitting 16 of the Bills' last 24 games. I'm kind of with GIno here on the Bucs. I'm probably not gonna touch a total here, but the way the Bills have been playing, that's a lot of points to cover, right? And New England has been really bad offensively this year. For them to score 29 on Buffalo, and then here's the other thing: the Bucs have been good at protecting the quarterback, second in giving up sacks, second in quarterback hits.
Yep.
So maybe this over could make a little sense here. Maybe GIno's on to something. I like the 8.5 points here. Don't love the money line, but definitely like the point. So let's move on to the Sunday slate here. Here it is, baby. Jalen Hurts in a revenge spot. I'm tired of these damn Commanders, bro. They seem to beat us every year. They seem to cover against us every year. This is the spot right here. The Eagles minus 267 favorite on bet openly. 6.5 point spread. I'm seeing 7 now on a lot of books, and the over under 43.5. 57% of the tickets are on the Eagles already. Jalen Hurts is questionable. I expect that he will play. Commanders pretty healthy overall here. The Commanders 15-35 off a loss in their last 50 games. The under is hitting 20 of the Commanders' last 29 games coming off a loss. And the Commanders are 17-13-3 against the spread off a loss in their last 50 games. What do you like here?
I got a slight lean on this under. I don't know what it is. The Commanders seem to show up against your Eagles. They seem to care. It's like, homecoming for them.
It's like their Super Bowl because that's
all
they can do.
I gave out the New York Giants money line last week, so I was happy to see that. That to me, I felt like it should be a pick 'em. I couldn't believe it got plus 150. I think we got it at the kickoff.
Yeah.
So you give me, I like the 6.5 as well. I think if you wait this out, you might be able to get 7.5. People are going to bet the Eagles. The Eagles are substantially better than this team, but for some reason, like you said, it's their Super Bowl. And I like the under here. This is going to be one of those grind out division brutal games. I think Philly can really frustrate these Commanders. I'm so hesitant to bet the Commanders after watching the Giants
Yeah, no,
dominate them.
I'm with you. Here's the thing you gotta look at with this over/under. Just weeks ago, it was 34-31 in this exact game in Philly, right? And now you have a total at 43.5. I like the under too. Now, I'm gonna give you guys my best bet in this game and for the entire week that I absolutely love. I'm taking the Commanders under 18.5 points
Ooh.
as their team total. I love that play right here. I couldn't believe when I saw how high that number is. I think 17 or less is easy here. Even if you look at earlier in the season when they did put up 31 against the Eagles, it's the self-inflicted turnovers that lead them to points. I don't think if the Eagles are smarter offensively, when we run the ball more, we're not turning the ball over. I just don't see the Commanders having a lot of success offensively in this game. So I do think that under 18.5, especially with a 43.5 point total here, I like it a lot. I really do. I think the Eagles hold the Commanders. My bold prediction of the week, Eagles hold the Commanders to 7 points in Washington.
I like it. Yeah. So we're on the same side here. There's a lot of reasons historically to bet this over. It might be a little chalky and square side to be on the over. So I'm gonna ride the under with you. That's my favorite play, the under.
No, I really like this play a lot. So we'll see what happens in this game. Hopefully, it's not my Eagles bias taking over. So up next, we have the New England Patriots traveling to Miami. The Patriots plus 425 on the money line, 9.5 points at the spread, and the over under at 47. This Patriots team is coming off of an upset win in Buffalo. And if you do NFL math, Buffalo destroyed the Dolphins earlier this year. Right?
What is
58% of the tickets here are on the Dolphins early on. Patriots do have a few injuries, including Juju. The Dolphins, Xavier Howard, a little bit banged up and questionable. Some trends in the game. The under is hitting 5 of the last 5 games for the Dolphins coming off of a loss. The Patriots, 108-45. There's a lot of data for you. Coming off of a win in their last 153 games. However, they are 1-4 against the spread coming off of a win in their last 5 games. And that's a very telling trend right there because that's more recent with the new era of this Patriots team, right? So the Patriots have not been good recently against the spread coming off of a win.
okay?
They just came off of a huge emotional high, beating that Buffalo Bills team at the very end of the game. Now they're traveling to Miami here. And let's maybe think about how this offense has not been good all season. Is that an anomaly in that Buffalo Bills game? What do you like here?
So you pointed out the Dolphins have been good at home offensively. So I actually think you're getting extra points here on the Patriots because of that piece of data. This is a lot of division points for a New England Patriots team that scored against a decent Bills defense. I don't get this. I know that the Dolphins can, flash and score. So it kind of makes sense to me, but the 9.5 feels very generous. I actually like the over in this game. I think this actually gets beat down a little bit. So if you want to hang out, if you give me 46, I think the Patriots are going to be able to put up some points against these Dolphins. And I do think the Dolphins get what's theirs, but the 9.5 is too much for me. I'm going to be taking this. This is division plus 9.5 off the first place in the divisions, beating them at home. There's a lot of reasons I'm on the Patriots here, and I'm not big on the Patriots. I've been fading them the first 5 weeks.
Yeah, the Patriots I think they scare me a little bit in this spot. I mean, if I just go look at their schedule, now they already played the Dolphins earlier this season in week 2, and that was in New England, and they lost only by 7. So
look at the defenses they played.
They played at New York. They won 15-10. At Dallas, lost 38-3. Versus the Saints, lost 34-0. At Las Vegas, 21-17. And then last week, Buffalo, 29-25. And they played my Eagles in week 1 at 25-20. So they have played good teams overall.
Yeah,
right?
that's
Overall,
all.
they
And
have
I
played
think
good
they're
teams.
going to be able to put up some points against this Miami defense.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a tough one for me that I would probably skip, but I just think this is who do you think the public's going to be on this game? Right now, it looks like 58%.
The money seems to be on the Patriots, so it
Yeah.
seems like the sharps are.
More money on New England so far. And again, this is filmed
Yeah.
on a Tuesday, but more money has come in on the Patriots in this spot.
The public's going to be all over Miami money line. They're going to be teasing that down.
Yeah. The Dolphins have scored 30-plus points every home game this season, but they've looked like a different team on the road.
Yeah, that's the only reason why you're getting these 9.5.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
No, that is a lot of points in a division game. I'm going to lean Patriots with you, but this is probably one I'll stay away from. Moving on. Up next, we have the Saints versus my guy Gardner Minshew. The Saints are a dog in this spot. Plus 1.5, plus 115 on the money line, over under 42.5. 56% of the tickets on the Saints, about the same on the money. Saints both teams relatively healthy. Nobody out major here. The trends here, under is hit in 12 of the Saints' last 17 games, coming off a loss. Colts are 4-10 off a loss in their last 14 games, and the Saints are 17-8 against the spread on the road over their last 25 games. I got a feeling you're going to be on the Saints.
Dog of the week, baby.
Oh, shit.
Dog of the week. So the Saints were rested. They played last Thursday against a very good Jacksonville. Jacksonville's been hot. I warned y'all about getting in front of Jacksonville. They found themselves over in England. This Saints defense is no match for the Colts defense. I am getting the better defense. I would say semi-relatable offenses. Obviously not. Indy's been doing better than the Saints, but on paper, the Saints should be better offensively. So I'm getting the better defense as a dog, and they're more rested. This checks all three boxes for me. Saints money line.
Yeah. I like the Saints as a dog here. It's hard to ignore. I think they're the better all-around team. Now, last week, the Colts offense, where did that come from? 38 points in Indianapolis, and now they're playing here again. So, and it's against Cleveland.
They did it against a good defense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. That's why the NFL is the NFL.
The NFL's wild.
But, yeah, I'm with you on the Saints money line here. I would lean that way. What do you like on the total? It's a very low total for a team coming off a 77-point game.
There's about 2 or 3 bets this week that make no sense to me, and when they make no sense, I don't go with them. I go against them. This over/under is way too low. We just watched.
Well, both teams coming off the over here.
Yeah, and we just watched the Colts almost hit this over themselves against an equally, if not better, defense.
Yeah,
makes no sense. So I have to bet the under here. It makes no sense to me. I would have this around 45.
Yeah, why is it so low?
Yeah, they know something we don't know. I do think the Saints defense gives the Colts a hard time.
Now, the Saints wide receiver Olave was just arrested.
I know
that's something to look at here.
He was
it was suspicion of reckless driving.
Now, I try and give these athletes a break. Dude was sober. He was going 30 miles an hour over. Who cares? Every one of you listening has gone 30 miles an hour over the speed limit. Yeah. Hell, on our Florida freeways, if you're not going 30 miles an hour over, you get ran off the road.
Yeah, 100%.
If he was drunk, I'd be like, come on, bro, get a driver. Don't be a fool. But 30 miles an hour is whatever.
I'm with you.
I hope
we're leaning the Saints in that game.
Arrested, kind of.
On to the next. Great matchup here of top 2 quarterbacks from the draft. We have the Texans. I think this is game of the week. What game is better?
There's a lot of games better.
What's your name one? I'm saying
Cincy.
Matchup wise, I think it's up there. It's a cool story behind this.
Yeah, it's a really good story.
Both teams debatably could have took the other guy, right?
100%.
Texans a small favorite here on the road, -3, over under 43. 92% of the early tickets are on Houston already.
Wow.
A lot less than the money is on Houston though.
Yeah, feel square.
Yeah, Panthers do have a few injuries here. Texans pretty well, pretty healthy overall here. Some of the trends. Now, this is something to look at. The under has hit in 5 of the Texans' last 6 games, coming off a win. Texans, however, are 6-15 straight up, coming off of a win in the last 21 games. Panthers 6-15-1 against the spread, coming off a loss in their last 22 games. What do you like here?
My opinion, the Texans have overperformed a bit. That's one. So I want to fade the Texans. They've overperformed. And you got the winless Carolina. Now that's 2 systems aligning off a bye. That's a third. A little bit of a grudge. The second overall picks doing better than the first. A little chip on the shoulder. I like Carolina money line here. I like them for multiple reasons. 137 seems like a hell of a deal. I would take anything over plus 115. So that's 22 points. I think Carolina's going to be able to move the ball. So this is Yeah, Adrian just said it. This is the Panthers' first win this game. So plus 137 seems like the value. Overperforming Texans, winless system. A bunch of things are stacking up. I can't mathematically get away from liking the Panthers here.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying here. The problem I have with this game is the Texans are pretty much better everywhere.
I get it.
Like it's just they're better at protecting the football, right? The Panthers are like middle of the pack in the NFL at turnovers. Texans number 1 in the NFL at turnovers, right? Offensively, they're not.
Let's have it. With a
they're
young
not-
quarterback too. Good for
He
them.
just threw his first pick recently. They're very careful with the football. They're conservative. I think they're better offensively and defensively.
It's tough.
The thing I'm looking at here is if you're taking the Panthers money line, you're literally just banking on them coming off of the bye to figure it out. And what Gino said earlier, Bryce Young is like, does he have that dog in him? Like, like with the whole NFL draft and the picks,
Yeah.
it's like, is he going to come out and be like, I'm the better QB here and show that? What
I think Texans have a better coach.
I think the
Better
Texans,
defense.
I just think the Texans are better everywhere.
It's tough. This is essentially the eye test of Texans versus systems. So for
Yeah.
any of you guys newer, I'm not saying I like the Panthers here. Like they've let me down. I haven't bet on the Panthers since they lost in Seattle when I thought they should have won that game. Just so you guys know, systems like don't have emotions. They don't have eyes. So this is a really good game. Matty's right. We got a bunch of drama. We got a storyline. We got a better coach versus, we got a better draft pick. We got a bunch of boxes going against one another. And then we have systems versus eye test. Texans are better than Carolina everywhere on paper right now.
Yeah.
But the systems yell
Mm.
Panthers.
The talent's there for them. They just got to
get it together. They were a different team at the end of last year. I can't figure it out.
Up next, we have the Rams versus the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, man.
Rams are a 6.5-point dog on the road, plus 250 on the money line. The over/under is 45.5. 76% of the tickets already on the Cowboys, but the majority of the money is on the Rams. So very telling there. Cowboys are 11-3 at home, coming off a win, but they're only 1-4 ATS off a win in their last 5 games. The over is hitting the Cowboys' last 5 games at home, coming off of a win. Is this too many points to give to the Rams here? What do you think?
You read my mind, brother. This feels generous. I have this true line at 4. And at 4, you could sell me on the Cowboys. But at 6.5, I'm taking those free 2.5, and I'm blindly betting the Rams here, guys. I do really like this under, which helps with taking the points. I think points will come very stingy in this game. These 3 points are going to be hard to get away from. So final answer is Rams plus 6.5. I 20-23 type of game, maybe 21-24. I'm a Niners fan, so I'm biased there, but I've watched a lot of these teams, both their games. Cowboys just aren't in a league of their own above these Rams. They feel like they're both tier 2 teams. They're in my lower ranking of my top 15. They're they're just like 12 to 15 teams. So 6.5 is a lot of points, guys. And that Rams receiving core is pretty nasty, dude.
Yeah, no, I'm with you here. I think 6.5 is a shitload of points in this game. And if you look at the Cowboys' last 2 games, that shit has not aged well. They barely beat the Chargers 2017, who looked terrible last week. And then they got destroyed by the 49ers, 42-10. And the Niners have now dropped 2 games. Now, granted, they've been unhealthy and different things have happened. But, outside of the
That's what I'm saying.
Giants week 1 win, the Jets week 2, and then the Patriots week 4, the other games have been really unimpressive. Cardinals, they lost 28-16. 49ers lost 42-10, and then they only scored 20 against the Chargers defense. So I don't know how you could – again, this is another game where if you're taking the home team here, you're literally just taking them because they're coming off a bye, similar to the Panthers.
Yeah.
The Cowboys are coming off a bye in this spot, minus 6.5. I think it's way too many points. I really do.
Yeah, and let's just go back again. It's a while ago now, but this Cowboys made my Niners look like the Super Bowl favorites.
Yeah.
People were on the Niners wagon after that game. Now, that's a long time ago. A lot's changed in the NFL. There's a lot of parity.
Yeah.
But all I'm going to tell you is 6.5 feels generous. I do think Cowboys should be favored in this game. I do think Cowboys should win this game, just not by 6.5, by like 1-4.
Yeah. quick question in the comments. Can you guys explain the point spread? So here's the easiest way to understand it. If a team is plus 6.5, you're going to add that 6.5 to their score
at the end of the game.
At the end of the game. And if you bet on them plus 6.5 and they're the winning team after you added the points, then your bet wins. Same concept. If you take the Cowboys minus 6.5, you're going to subtract 7 to their score, right? So they need to win the game by 7 or more to cover the spread.
And just I do this with like my wife all the time. The half point, just so you know, it's a tiebreaker. You can't have a half a point. So what Matty said was if the Cowboys are minus 6.5, you win if they win by 7 or more.
Right.
You lose if they win by 1 through 6, or they lose the game. So just think end of the game, you get to either subtract or add points to your score.
All right. Up next, Jacksonville traveling to Pittsburgh.
This might be my game of the week.
Jags minus 140 on the money
This
line.
might be my game of the week.
Minus 2.5 on the spread, over under 41.5 here. 58% of the tickets are on Trevor Lawrence and the Jags in this spot, and even more of the money is on them as well. Jags do have a few injuries here. Tyson Campbell, Zay Jones. Steelers pretty healthy overall in this spot. The Steelers 2-9-1 against the spread at home, coming off a win in their last 12 games. The under is hit in 11 of the Steelers' last 15 games, coming off a win. What's your spot here?
I was all over Pitt money line last week. Thank you, Pitt, for getting it done in LA. That paid me. I'm quickly turning on them. Jacksonville is hot. They're rested. They're the team that played New Orleans X amount of days ago. So it's like a mini bye. Right. I have the Jags climbing my power rankings. I'm already nervous for my Niners at Jags next month. These are two teams. It just, in my opinion, I'm big here on the Pitt team total under. I watched this Pitt team really struggle against my Niners, and they quietly have a decent defense. So I love the under first half in this game. A really boring 10-3 at half, Jacksonville. I liked how Jacksonville controlled that Buffalo game out in England. I think they've had control of their season ever since then. So that's the kind of game plan I'm expecting. I think you're getting the Jags cheap because Pitt went across the country off a bye and got a W. I'm a little lower on the Rams than I am higher on Pitt for that. So that's my answer. Jags. Probably my chalkiest squares, most public play of the week.
It was definitely a good win for Pittsburgh, though. I mean, you look at them; they're now 4-2.
They're 4-2, bro.
They're second in the AFC North. Like
they're right there, and they've had some bad losses and some good wins. Yeah. They're an interesting team.
I lean Jacksonville here too, but I can't get out of my head the fact that I just feel like TJ Watt is going to strip sack Trevor Lawrence. Like, can't you just see that in this game?
Yeah, you already see the points.
I just see that happening in my head. I'm like, it's going to be a strip sack, or just like a sack, or just QB hits that lead to
picks. 2.5 at home is just
man. I just can't get that visual out of my head for some reason. I almost feel like the Steelers money line is going to hit, and we're going to be like, "How is the Steelers team 5-2 after this game?" I don't know, man. This is one that's tough. What do you like on the over/under here? Because that's not a lot of points.
Under. Yeah. I didn't give this out, but I'm going back. I kind of like the Steelers on the under on points. What my Niners were able to do to them on that probably pays like 15-20 to 1 under points on Steelers. You can get a home team like that. You get amazing value
to take them at the lowest amount of points on a Sunday.
Yeah, I just like what Jacksonville was able to do to Buffalo.
Yeah.
This Jacksonville defense, don't sleep on them, guys. They're going to control this game. They're going to run the ball. When you bet the under of another team, you want against a good defense, obviously, and then you want them to have a run game to control the clock, to get those first downs. So, man, I'm talking myself into this one. But I do like Jacksonville, and I'm starting to like team total Pitt under.
Makes sense. All right. Moving on here. The Jets and the Giants here. The Jets are a 3-point favorite on the road, minus 135 on the money line. Here's a low total for you, 36.5 in this game. 66% of the tickets on the Jets. Less of the money is on the Jets. However, Saquon is still questionable in this game. Sauce Gardner is questionable in this game. Those are two important injuries. Daniel Jones questionable as well, so keep an eye on those 3 injuries for sure as the week progresses. The under is hit in 17 of the Giants' last 21 games coming off a win. Giants are 7-13-1 ATS at home off a win, and the Giants are 11-24 coming off a win in their last 35 games. Who do you like here?
So people keep judging me for having the Jets in my top 15 power rankings. They're nasty, and people keep getting smoked. These Jets compete. I like the Jets here. I like them to really frustrate this New York Giants line. Man, that under 36.5 is wildly low, but I'm hammering this under. I like 20-10. 20-10 Jets final. Now I remember why I don't have Pitt in my lowest team of the week. I would not be surprised if the Jets hold these New York Giants to the lowest total this week. That's probably what I'm giving out. The people are starting to think the Giants are figuring it out off their win. Let's not forget that was against Washington. Let's not forget what Washington let Denver do. Denver is Garbo. Washington's Garbo. I'm buying the Jets here. I'm selling the Giants a little bit high. They made me money last week. I gave that out as a money line. And now I have no allegiance to these teams. So
Yeah,
I think the Jets come out and show that they are a top defense in the league. And I don't think they score a lot. I like the Giants defense, if I'm being honest. I really like this under 20-10.
I can see this Jets team forcing a lot of turnovers in this game. Honestly, you look at the Giants' injuries right now. Saquon is the hyperextended left elbow. It looks like he's going to play in week 8. But then you have Evan Neal and Andrew Thomas, both offensive tackles, questionable. You have Daniel Jones questionable. Whether it's Daniel Jones or Tyrod Taylor, like I can see turnovers in this game. So I'm with you on the Jets here. -3, in a game with 36.5
Look at that.
as the over under. But
Set the
no, I do
lead.
like. I think you could do a little Jets money line and under parlay here and feel good about it. Truthfully,
Wow, that's stuck at 3.
wow, I like that. All right, moving on. The Vikings versus the Packers.
This is a good game too. There's good games.
Vikings. I mean, Vikings are hot right now. They're feeling themselves. You see Kirk Cousins on the bus on the way back. He was
Man, I
was
rewatched
vibing, bro.
that game. We could have won that game 7 different ways.
He's just vibing. -1.5 on the road here. Over under 42.5. 59% of the tickets on the Vikings here. 45% of the money on the Vikings, so a little less of the money. Vikings pretty healthy overall. Packers injuries. Jair Alexander is questionable. They also have a few other injuries. Trends under is hitting 4 of the Packers' last 5 at home, coming off a loss. Packers 14-5 at home, coming off a loss in their last 19 games. The Vikings are 9-17 against the spread, coming off a win in their last 27 games. What do you like here?
My dude Shanny gave up on the run. We were running the ball fine on Minnesota. If you watch that touchdown we ran, if you watch that first down, we were getting 8 yards on it. He fumbled. We should have lived and died by the run. The Packers are going to live and die by this run, and they're going to beat these Minnesota Vikings. It's a gross buy low, sell high, but it's the Packers money line. Packers money line plus 108. Run. They're gonna run the ball. And damn, I rewatched that game, and my Niners should have stuck to the run. Brock shouldn't have been forced to throw as much as he was without. We were in our wide receiver 3s and 4s. We should have had Mason in there. Should have had Elijah in there. It should have been a run first offensive attack. Shanny coached himself into a loss. I'm only talking about this as a biased Niner fan because I do believe the Packers learn from the Niners' mistake, and the Packers come out and run versus this Vikings team.
Yeah, man. It is hard to get behind the Packers in this game. It really is, man. They just lost at Denver 19-17. They lost at Las Vegas 17-13. And they lost by 2 touchdowns to the Detroit Lions, who just got destroyed by the Ravens. I mean, and the Packers' schedule has been trash this year. The
It really
Bears,
has.
the Falcons,
It really has. Good point.
Saints, Vegas. Like,
Good
this
point.
is probably my square play of the week, but like the Vikings feeling themselves right now, only -1.5 on the road here. Like,
Off a bad loss to Denver.
I don't get it at all.
Yeah, I feel
thought
you,
this would be a
brother.
-3, -4 game.
I feel you. Yeah,
So,
I'm stuck with the system here and the run game that I saw, but I don't doubt it. The Packers haven't done a lot. They beat the Bears week 1. That's
and
like
then the
when
Saints game was only a 1-point win at home.
they played pretty good in that game.
Yeah.
And I think they were down 18-0 at half, right? No, they were down 17-0 at half and won 18-17.
Yeah.
That's what they did. Yeah, this Packers seems a weird one.
Yeah. I gotta go Vikings here as my initial lead. Moving on. Falcons versus the Titans. Falcons are a 2.5-point favorite on the road. Over under 36.5 in this spot. 66% of the tickets are on the Falcons. Around the same amount of money on the Falcons as well. Bijan Robinson is questionable. For the Titans, Treylon Burks questionable. Ryan Tannehill, I do believe he will play in this game.
What happened to Bijan? Was he sick? And people were like,
yeah.
Then he went in for one run. That was such a weird.
That was a weird situation. But I'm gonna tell you guys right now, this is my dog of the week. Mike Vrabel, 5-0 off of the bye. I love Mike Vrabel to bounce back. And guess what, guys? That 24-16 loss to the Ravens has not aged that badly, right?
That's a good point.
It has not aged that badly. It gave me a heart attack in that game because I had that 3-unit play on the Ravens, and the Titans fought in that game.
They did.
You know, they really, really did. So I'm gonna trust the Titans win this game. If the Titans have won any chance to make a run, like to have any chance to get to the playoffs this year, let's take a look right now. The Titans right now are 2-4 and at the bottom of the AFC South. But it is not over. It really isn't. The Jags are 5-2, so it's gonna take some time to catch. But like I think the Titans, this is as close as a must-win game as it gets for them. I like them at home to get it done here. I think Tannehill's going to play. I think they win this game outright. Mike Vrabel's too good of a coach, I think, for them to drop the 2-5 here at home.
My homie Matty, the Titans check all my boxes. I just put them on timeout 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
they always hurt me. So I'm going to let you ride this one. I think you're on the sharp side with Titans money line. I like it. What Atlanta does well is run the ball, and the Titans stop the run well. This is a good matchup for them. This is a good off the bye for them. And record-wise, the Atlanta's a better team, so I get why the spread is the way it is. It's to divide the public. So I think you're getting value here. I think you're on the right side.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the injury report. Tannehill is still questionable. 20, that's today. So today, Mike Vrabel just said that he will not practice today. So that's the latest as of a Tuesday. So we'll have to monitor that. But I still think the Titans figure out a way to get a win here at home with or without Tannehill, truthfully. So
one of those crazy low over-unders too.
Yeah, 37. All right, up next, we have the Browns versus the Seahawks. The Browns are a 3-point dog here on the road, plus 151 on the money line. Over-under at 40.5 here at this spot. 51% of the tickets are on Seattle. 68% of the money on Seattle as well. Deshaun Watson's still questionable here. I don't know if he's going to play or not. We'll have to keep an eye on that. DK Metcalf is questionable as well for the Seahawks. The Seahawks 41-21 at home, coming off a win. I've always thought the Seahawks have been a pretty good home team. However, they're only 9-19 against the spread, coming off a win in their last 28 games. 3 points here to give this Cleveland team. This seems like some recency bias after they gave up 38 to the Colts. What do you think?
Yeah, this is one of those games I'm looking forward to seeing, right? Like, I don't know what to make of this. Is Seattle going to make a run at the West? Like, we all assumed it was the Niners. Like, they got to win this game if they're going to make a run at the West. Mm-hmm. This is Cleveland money line for me. Cleveland has the better defense. That kid PJ now settling in. They compete. They scored a lot of points. They allowed a lot. I got to think their defense bounces back. I got to think that.
Yeah. So both of these teams are 4-2, and both of them are looking up at the division leaders, right? Am I right there? Yeah, because the Niners are 5-2. So this is kind of not a must-win game, but the Seahawks is definitely want to win this game to kind of catch the Niners here. And then
I just like better defense.
The Browns are looking at the Steelers, who are 4-2 as well, and the Ravens, who are 5-2. And I agree with you. I would say I like the better defense here too, but damn, 38 to the Colts. Like, how did that even happen?
Yeah. What did they? Oh my God. What was the final score in the Colts game?
39-38.
Cleveland won 39-38.
Yeah,
They won by one.
They sneaked it out. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, Cleveland has a little bit of momentum here, guys. So they have
Beat the Niners, beat the Colts.
they beat the Titans. Like, look at this. Like their only 2 losses are to their division rivals.
Yeah.
And after they dominated the Bengals. So this to me is wild. Like, is the AFC North that good? Because they have all wins except for two of the rivals, and they beat the Bengals. So and they dominated the Bengals. I think you got to take this money line at plus 151. Just on sheer value that the AFC North is better than the NFC West.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think this is a dog and under that's going to cash for me. All right, here we go. A bounce back spot for Brock Purdy. We will see. We got the Bengals traveling to San Francisco. They're a 5.5-point dog on the road, over under 45.5. And let's see if I can pull this one up. Here we go. All right. Yeah, the over under, I'm seeing it already at 46.
46.
Is it 5.5 or 6 now?
I'm seeing both 5.5.
Yeah, we'll see. Bengals are coming off the bye here, right?
Yeah.
So Bengals coming off the bye. Second time the
off the
49ers facing a team off the bye here. Bengals 14-5 coming off a win in their last 19 games. The 49ers 10-20 against the spread at home, coming off a loss.
30 games.
The under is hit in 13 of the Niners' last 20 games coming off a loss. Are you backing your boys here? What do you think?
I'm nervous about this game, my dudes. I don't like it. I'll be on the Niners. I'll tell you that much. I think we're going to learn that we messed up. We should have ran the ball way more. Brock is a good quarterback. There's nothing wrong with Brock, but he doesn't need to have forcing. He doesn't need to be forcing in the pass when we have a run game that's so dominant. Dude, CMC he's about to tie the record, right? 17 in a row. Like, guys, this is absolutely epic what's going on with CMC in our run game, and we should be focused more on that. We should be leveraging Mason on third downs when CMC's tired, or on first downs to give him some rest. So I go all the way back to the Cleveland first week 1 versus the Bengals. I think Cleveland and the Niners are built a lot more of the same than different, and I believe we're going to mirror that. And that's my plan, and that's how we have to win this game. That's how we have to beat these Bengals, because they're going to be able to pass on us, dude. I saw some crazy stat about what their receiving core did to our secondary, and it was not pretty.
Yeah.
Not pretty.
Especially coming off the bye. You have to think they were loving watching that game this week.
Oh, my God.
Vikings-Niners game, right? They just got to be licking Joe Burrow's got to be licking his lips right now.
Dude, they were passing all over us. Those guys were open by 10 yards.
Bro, yeah, because even it's not even like they were hitting these quick little passes. Like they were throwing the ball down the field.
Yeah. So, yeah, man, I think the Niners win this game. I genuinely believe people are selling us a little too quick. They're throwing Purdy under the bus. I think the mistake should fall a little more on Shanny. We need to run this damn ball, and we need to control this game, and our defense needs to snap out of it. So, we had almost no pressure on their quarterback.
Yeah,
he was calling great audibles at the line. We got it.
Kirk Cousins has got to be the streakiest. Now he's like good on prime.
I know. Now he's primetime Kurt. Dude, this game makes me nervous. This is going to be a damn good football game.
What do you think about the over in this spot?
I like the over.
I do too. I think the over would be my best bet in this game.
They're going to score some points on us, and we're going to get way more than we got.
Yeah, especially because you're getting Joe Burrow. You got to think is getting closer to healthy now.
Yeah.
He's been unhealthy all season. We see the Niners are struggling a little bit in their secondary. Burrow's going to be able to throw the ball down the field. I also don't think very highly of this Bengals defense this year. So I think that number's a gift. I think this number should be like 47.5, 48.
Niners get back to that 30.
And
anytime touchdown, CMC.
That's the other thing. If you look at this 49ers team at home, haven't they scored 30 every game?
Yeah, we had a nice streak going for a while.
So at home this year,
back to back.
30 points against the Giants, 35 against the Cardinals, 42 against the Cowboys. So all 3 home games, 30 plus. I don't know how you don't like this over in this game.
No, I agree. I like the over. I like the Niners. That -5.5 makes me nervous. I think it's going to be a bit of a shootout. I do think we established the run. Shanny, I know you're listening. I know you're one of our number one fans. Thank you for your support. Run the ball.
That's what I tell the Eagles every damn week. All right, here
They
we
watch
go.
for sure.
The Baltimore Ravens. I'm still pissed at these Ravens off of last week. -8.5 at Arizona. That is a lot of points on the road for an NFL team.
Man.
+375 on the money line for the Cardinals. Over under 44 points.
These Cardinals have been good this year. Like, not good, but like they're competing.
Good.
They're competing. I can tell you right now, everyone's going to have the Ravens in every teaser possible. I just think this is going to be sheer power. It takes a sack to put money on the Cardinals, guys. After what we watched, the
Cardinals probably should have covered last week, though. They lost 20-10. I know you're on the Seahawks.
Yeah.
It was a close. That was a close game.
Very
Close,
lightly on.
Close game for the spread.
Yeah, I was very lightly on. It was a half a unit. I was on Seattle for my survivor.
Yeah. But I mean, 3 games straight prior to, 4 games in a row, this Cardinals team has lost by double digits. Like literally 4 games straight, they lose by double digits. And now you're facing a Ravens team that is as hot as any team in the league offensively.
Hitting all
right
cylinders.
Yeah. This is a tough one. I think odds makers made this number big because they know everyone's going
to love it.
But it's tough to not like the Ravens.
No, I agree. This, man. I already said my chalk bet of the week, but I actually think that Baltimore blows the doors off them. I like that stat you told me about being 15-1.
Yeah, so Lamar Jackson now 16-1 in his last 17 games against NFC teams. That's crazy. That's legit crazy to me. I mean, you see the NFC being that much worse than the AFC. Like, what is it about non-conference games that makes
it must be that people it must be a two-way street that you can figure out Lamar and he can figure out you, and vice versa. When he comes the first time, you can't figure him out, and he carves you up, which is just crazy because, I don't have him in Survivor. It'd be a nice time to use Baltimore here. I agree, Michael. I agree, Gillum, 100. So, guys, we try and give you plays on every game. The Ravens will be in my teasers at -2.5. There's just no way after everything I've seen. It is chalk. It is square. It is public. Public wins a couple bets. Although last week they didn't win any bets. They didn't win any bets, the public, but they do win a couple bets in their life. I think the Ravens are just going to absolutely overpower them. I will say these Cardinals have showed Dobbs is not a bad quarterback. He was a laughingstock, dude. The guy comes out and competes. They're just short of talent. And I think Baltimore is just going to overpower them.
Yeah, and the Cardinals just played Zach Ertz on the IR today.
I ain't going to be watching this game. So, this will be a teaser bet.
Yeah, maybe also a first half bet for Baltimore. I'm going to take a look at that. So, all right, we got the Chiefs versus the Broncos.
What is this spread? 7.5.
Yeah. Chiefs are a 7.5 point favorite in Denver, over under 46.5. 73% of the tickets on Kansas City, 80% of the money on Kansas City as well. Justin Watson is questionable. Nick Bolton out for the Chiefs. Kareem Jackson questionable for the Broncos. The under is hit in 26 of the Broncos' 34 games coming off a win. The Broncos 6-15 against the spread off a win. Chiefs are 17-8 versus the Broncos in their last 25 games straight up. What do you like here?
This Chiefs defense is scary good. I don't know where it came from or why, but I'm going to be fading that defense. I'm just telling y'all. I hope you want to listen up because this is where I find value. I can't explain why this is not 9.5. It makes no sense. So I'm going to be all over Denver for 7.5. They're going to cover the hook. I also like Denver's team total in the over, and I like the over in this game. I don't know how or why, but it's going to be a 27-20, a 30-24, something like that. Line makers are better at capping than me. And there's a couple games a week where they show that they know more than me. And this is an example because the public would still take the Chiefs at -9.5, and they're begging you to take them at 7.5. So I will be all over Denver here. Denver team total over in the game, Denver +7.5.
Now, 2 weeks ago, Kansas City just played Denver at home and won 19-8 in a really weird game.
Held them to 8. Won by 11.
Right. That's a good way to look at it. Is if you held them to 8, it's like, is the Chiefs offense really not going to?
And the over
Play
on
better this
46.5.
Yeah.
What is this, dude? This
I
is
could
nuts.
see a breakthrough game for Kansas City where you could go Chiefs in the over parlay.
Chiefs over, baby.
I could
I
see
also
it.
think Russ puts up some points. I really do like the over in this game. The reason why I'm pushing the over on you guys harder is just Denver's been so god awful. Russ has been so god awful. He's lost a step. He can't run like he used to. Mahomes is what Russ used to be, and Russ is not what he used to be anymore. So I'll just cheer for points in this game. My bigger bet, I will win money on the game as long as this over hits.
I like it. I like the over too. I'll probably be on that.
It's just like what you said, 19-8.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Come on.
All right, up next. I think there was a lot of like fluke turnovers in that game too.
Yeah.
Fumbles. Up next, the Bears
How
are
did-
traveling to the Chargers. The money line is plus 400 for that Chicago Bears team. 8.5 is the spread. The over-under is 46.5. 50-50 split on tickets here. 50-50 split on
Yeah.
tickets. The Bears do have some injuries here, right? It looks like Justin Fields may or may not play again in this spot. Eddie Jackson questionable as well. The Chargers 8-18-1 against the spread at home, coming off a loss. Bears 4-10 off a win in their last 14 games. What do you like here?
So the Chargers are my survivor play of the week. They're not that great of a team. You save them for huge spreads like this. I want to get down to the last 100 people and start having some real fun. I like this Baguette kid too. He came out of nowhere. Was he D2? Is that where he got like drafted late? He played solid. I love seeing that. I love when people not on the radar get there. So this to me is when the Chargers start their playoff run. The Bears have played pretty good the past 2 weeks. We've made some money betting on these Bears. So this is now my time to fade them. The Chargers are a buy low, sell high. I do think the Chargers blow the brakes off these Bears. I think everyone catches up. This spread at 8.5 is high, especially after what we've seen.
It's very high considering the Chargers have not beaten a team all season by 9 or more points. You know, now they have played the Dolphins, the Vikings, Cowboys, Chiefs, Titans. I mean, these aren't, these are decent teams and some good teams. But yeah, 8.5 is a lot here. One thing I will say is there's now tape footage here on the Bears quarterback if Justin Fields isn't playing.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. This does feel really high, but
Why is this the Sunday night game? I thought they flexed this kind of crap out.
I don't know. I can't believe it.
No, isn't that what don't they flex after week 8? I mean,
It's going to be a coming out party here for the Chargers.
This is a coming out party. I agree with you. This Chargers team should be a playoff team. Everyone is writing off their quarterback. Everyone is writing off this kid like, oh, he's nothing. Just because.
What's funny is the narrative is completely flipped within a year.
Right?
It used to be Herbert should have been the pick over Tua, and now it's like Tua should have been the pick over Herbert. It's completely flipped, but it's also hard to argue against. Like Tua looks so good now.
I agree. I still see Tua just throwing balls up and guys going to him.
He is the best weapon.
His guys are nasty. Waddle's his too. What I will say, and I think you said it best. Chargers show up. Herbert looks nasty. Puts up 350 yards, 4 touchdowns. These Bears are not good on defense. Let's not forget how good they made the Green Bay Packers look on offense.
Yeah.
So I like it. Also, they made Washington look semi-decent. That was a long time ago. Was that Thursday Night Football? The Bears, Washington looked decent on offense against them. And they're god awful. So I think there's a lot of points, and they're all on the Chargers side.
Yeah. Could you imagine if the Bears come in and win this game outright?
Woo! I'll be out of Survivor and I'll be pissed.
That's true. I want to see the injury report real quick on the Bears before we move on.
Yeah, pull it up. I'm pretty sure what's his name broke his finger. He's out. He's not going to rush him back.
He's doubtful right now as of Tuesday. Eddie Jackson questionable. Terrell Smith questionable.
It was a thumb too, dude. You don't rush back a thumb.
Yeah, the Chargers might blow their doors off. Maybe this is the spot for the Chargers here.
My dude.
We shall see.
The last game of the week.
This is Monday Night Football. The Raiders are traveling to Detroit.
Woo! These are big spreads in
I'll
prime
tell
time.
you what, for Detroit to get destroyed last week, and now they're 8.5-point favorite at home. That's very telling. The Raiders plus 350 on the money line, over under 45.5. All the tickets are coming in on the Lions already for whatever reason. What do you like here?
I like the under in this game. I really do. The Raiders' defense has been surprising. I've been surprised by the decency of the Raiders' defense. And I think the Lions' defense bounces back, and they're pleasantly surprised with this Raiders' offense. It's high, 45.5 with two good defenses. I really like this under. That is by far my number one play in this. Under, more under. I don't know. This spread's high, man. I do think the Lions bounce back. I do think they win this game, but
Yeah.
why 8.5 against
here-
the Raiders team that's
so-
competed all year?
So here's why it's 8.5. Outside of that Ravens game, 1, 2, 3, 4 straight games they've won by double digits.
Okay.
I can't throw this Lions team out after that Ravens loss.
All right.
It was bad. It was hideous. It was ugly. But I love the Lions coaching. I think they bounce back here. I actually love taking teams as big favorites coming off a game where they got destroyed. I think it's a great betting spot. I like the Lions minus 8.5 here a lot, honestly.
Do these Raiders just beat the Patriots, who then beat the Bills? Raiders beat the Packers. Dude, let's
it
just
up.
cover the Raiders defense for a second. Now, mind you, the Bears come out, and
And the Raiders are
Change
also
everything.
1-3 on the road this year so far.
so we throw out that game, right? That's recency bias with the Bears. But the Raiders hold the Packers to 13. They hold the Patriots to 17. Chargers to 24. It's a good Chargers defense, but I'm oh, man.
I think the Lions are going to blow them out.
I just like the under in this game. Final answer. Only the under for me.
My final answer is I'm not touching the total.
So 30-0.
Lions minus 8.5.
30-0.
Also, a good spot here in this game is going to be Lions first half. They're coming back home after getting shit on. Campbell's going to have them ready. They're going to come out and score some points early in this game is my prediction.
I like it.
All right, let's get and move on here. Quick recap of the show, and then we will dive into the DFS portion. GIno on his Survivor. He gave you guys the Seahawks last week, and it hit. He's going with the Chargers this week. I agree with him. I think it's the best Survivor spot of the week. For our dogs of the week, I'm going Mike Vrabel and the Tennessee Titans. Mike is 5-0 against the spread as a dog or
Off the bye.
coming off the bye? Thank you. Vrabel 5-0 coming off the bye against the spread in his last 5. I love the Titans in this spot. Gino's dog of the week.
My dog of the week's gonna be the Saints. I like the Saints. I just think the defensive matchup is the imbalance in the defense gives me the edge.
And then for our long shot props, I'm going with the Dolphins, high scoring team for NFL Sunday slate. I think it's 7-1 odds. And then I'm going Commanders as my lowest scoring. Was it 14-1?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I know.
The
14-1's good.
Look, I'm telling you right now, my
Eagles'
Eagles
defense is good.
my Eagles are going to shut them down. They've covered against us and they've won against us too much in the past couple of years. As long as the Eagles take care of the football on offense, we will shut the Commanders down in Washington this week. And that also plays into my best bet of the week, under 18.5-point team total for the Commanders. Turn it over to GIno here for his last 3.
I think the Chargers absolutely show up and have a field day. So I like them as the highest scoring team, and lowest scoring, I think the Jets, Jets, Jets show up, get nasty, put these Giants back in their place. They've looked god awful versus good defenses a couple times.
I like it.
And then the best bet is the Jets -3. So you'll see a lot of coordination on those plays.
All right, let's bring in Trevor here for DFS. I'll be right back, Trev. Talk with GIno for a second.
Trev,
What's going on, boys?
How you living?
I'm better than I was last night, so that was rough. So we're here.
The homie Trev is a Niner fan. You know, I'm most mad that we didn't run the ball more.
And CMC played every play. Like, why didn't they sub in? Mason's looked so good. I don't get
I
why
know,
they
they
didn't
didn't
run.
use
They
Mason.
didn't use Mason more.
It was weird. We put CMC in there, but then we're afraid to overuse him because he's coming off an injury. I put that loss squarely on Shanny.
Yeah, and then I mean, we gave out on the show Ayuk last week over 66.5 yards, and he had 5 for 57 at the half. And the only target he saw in the second half was that scramble Brock was throwing that he tried to pick off the ground. Like, they didn't even throw the ball at him. Like, it was just wild to me.
Yeah, I blame a lot of people were talking about our defensive coordinator, which is fine. I talk more about our offensive play that we should have came out, controlled that ball. We were running the ball pretty well on them.
Yeah, I didn't like how that went. That was annoying for me. So it was.
What's on your daily fantasy radar?
All right, so I'll just talk about some game spots that I like. So I'll come back to Thursday. Going through, I actually really like the Texans this week. The Texans get Carolina, right? We've seen how bad Carolina is versus the run. I think we're going to be able to, have a good Dameon Pierce week. And they're coming off a bye. Tank should be back. We're not 100% sure yet, but we should have Tank back. I think CJ could throw for 300 in this game.
Wow.
And yeah, like they've just, man, that defense for Carolina is terrible. And then you got them coming off the bye so they can plan a little more. From a fantasy standpoint, I like that spot. They got a 23.5 total right now. I'll give out you guys my 2 TD prop this coming week. It's just easy. This is just simple, easy math. AJ Brown's going for 2 touchdowns against that Washington atrocious secondary. Ooh. Like, there's just you see the stats. He's had over 125, and I don't even know how many games now. And that Washington secondary is so bad they can't stop anybody. So I think the Eagles are going to put up a ton, and then Washington just does nothing against that front line. Sam Howell's the most sack guy in the league. Jalen Carter, those guys are just going to feast on him. You're going to have Hassan coming off the corner. And I'm actually probably, if we can get good sack props, that's going to be a great spot to hit some sack props in that game. Hopefully they give us some. I'm interested in the Rams-Cowboys game. Just from a DFS standpoint, they have the opportunity to push, and I think it's a Cooper. I was on Puka last week. I think this will be a Cooper week, just because of how Dallas plays D. So I like that spot. I think Miami's going to come back and just throw for 400 yards on New England. I think it'll be, Tyreek will go off. I think Moister goes off. I just think they're going to throw for a boatload of yards, even though they can't stop anybody. I don't want nothing to do really with the Jets-Giants game. That's gross. Just give me the under. And then an interesting spot for me is we saw what Indy just did to Cleveland. Can Seattle put up some points on this Cleveland D? I'm interested to see there. We got some health questions, so that's a spot for me. But I'm going to be attacking Kansas City this week, right? Denver is thrown in the towel. We don't have lines for that game yet, but unless Mahomes' pass yards are under 350, we're taking his over. If it's
crazy, that spread's only 7.5.
I don't understand how their defense has been so bad. Their defense is given up 272 passing yards. Plus, they're like the second worst rush defense in the league. Like, they're terrible. And if you go blocking matchup, it's a great blocking matchup for them. And then the other 2 TD spot we're going to attack this coming week is Baltimore versus Arizona. Right? We just saw what they did to Detroit. It's Arizona. I don't think there's going to be a letdown. I think they're getting this Todd Monken offense under control. And I'm actually going to go Lamar 2 anytime touchdowns because I think they're going to get close and then he just rushes in because their backfield is so bad. I think that's going to be a spot to attack.
Mar.
Yeah. So, that's just a game that's man. And then if the Chargers don't score 40 points on this Bears defense, they need to fire Staley immediately after the game. Literally, if they don't have 40, just fire him. He needs to be gone. This should be a
Chargers putting up 50 and winning me one of those 20x bets.
Yeah, this should be a Herbert, Eckler, everybody. This should just be an everybody from that offense. Keenan Allen game. Like this is that offense should be on there. I think Detroit bounces back, right? Like they put up. You saw missing David Montgomery ended up being big for them, but they just got out coached in that game. But right, same. The Raiders secondary is so bad. I think St. Brown has a big game. I think Laporta goes off in that game. And then our Niners, this is an interesting spot. We have a pretty good pass block matchup versus their front. I want to see if Brock can, bounce back. Obviously Debo's going to be out. They're going to keep him off through the bye. How do we bounce back here? So I want to see kind of where those lines land for me. And then the Thursday night game this week is interesting. The total, right? Like Tampa Bay only has a 16.5 point total on this. I don't understand team total. I'm surprised because Buffalo has it. Like their defense is solid, and I get they traded this week and that, but like, man, like I think they could put up a few more points there. Looking at what's available right now, they don't have Tampa Bay's lines up, but this is going to be a good Evans spot, I believe. And then from the Buffalo side, we continue. You guys have heard me talk about him from week one. Dalton Kincaid, lock it in right now, over 36.5 receiving yards. He continues to increase his target usage. We've seen what brick hands Dawson Knox can do. He dropped 2 touchdown passes. Kincaid can block now. So that's, I think there's going to be some good spots there. And don't sleep on Indy this week because Olave's probably going to be out now with his arrest for that speeding ticket.
Damn it. I gave out the better defensive Saints.
Is he going to seriously be out, though?
Because of a speeding ticket?
I got arrested. Their videos are out. I don't know. Like, I mean,
drunk.
I don't think he's going to be out.
Why are they so soft?
Yeah, I agree. Like,
I guess where I'm as an old man is if I was speeding to my office, would they kick me out of work for a week because I sped to my office? Like, I don't get how we don't treat it like a job.
Yeah, I don't understand it. It makes no sense to me. It's not there. And then the other one, if you guys want some unders to target Atlanta rushing unders versus Tennessee. They're going to actually have to throw the ball. You can't run on Tennessee. That's going to be a good spot to attack some unders there. I like that spot there this week, but Kincaid is going to, Kincaid is going to go for Thursday. For me, it's Kincaid and probably Evans as of right now. I want to see what comes out from them, but I think he's going to get a 60.5 line, and I like the over from there.
I love it, brother. My question for you. CMC is going to have how many games in a row with a touchdown? Can he go all season?
He runs. If he stays healthy, he runs the table.
Wow.
I think he runs the table. Like they showed us. I don't know if you saw it. They showed a thing. If you started with $100 on his touchdown streak,
$500,000.
Yeah, you'd have like $500,000 right now, just doubling it every time.
I saw that.
Right, like that's why. Right, again, he broke the record this week. He's getting the ball.
Can I be an old hater real quick?
Yeah.
The only reason why I hate that is you'd never be able to get those ladder bets down. You ain't getting 200 racks down on anytime TD.
No. Not even Circa will host that.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Those snakes, when they show stuff like that, they're leaving out the fact that you couldn't even get your bet down.
Yeah, and I mean, and the guys this week, man, I don't know if you guys saw the whole situation with Bijan Robinson this week.
What was that?
So he ended up saying he was sick, but then they gave him one carry at the end of the game, and it crushed everybody's unders, right? Literally like the last play of the game. And man, Twitter has been just absolutely wild. Like, guys, if you're listening, remember this. They did $6 billion in handle last month in books. The NFL is an $18 to $19 billion a year industry, and coaches are making millions of dollars. They don't care about your stupid prop bet.
That I don't even think people realize the variance for the two sides is like not even that much. They're acting like all bets are on one side and they're sweeping the table with it.
Yeah, it's wild. So,
People
and I
are
want to
nuts.
give this a shout out. So, like I've seen the line already. And hold on, let me pull it back up. I accidentally closed the tab here. So we got some Bet Openly. We dropped Bet Openly dropped props this week. So now we got them up. And let me tell you about this line that I really, really like here for the Thursday night game, guys. So we got, hold on. Give me 2 seconds because I accidentally closed the tab. Almost there. All right. Football, NFL. All right. So you guys, right now, Dalton Kincaid that I like is over 37.5 for plus 100 at Bet Openly. This is minus 119 at Caesars, minus 115 at DK, minus 115 at MGM. Guys, that is 15 points. That is, it's like 2 units. You're going to save a weekend, even if you lose. Like that's wild money. Like wild, guys. Like go take advantage. I'm super pumped with those odds coming out right there.
I appreciate you, brother.
All right. You guys have a good week. We'll see you soon.
All right, bro.
Later, homie.
Later.
All right. Let's see. That concludes the show, everybody. Please go like and subscribe if you haven't already on the YouTube channel, and go make a betopenly.com account today. Get in on those player props.
My dudes, we've been feeding. Our Discord is free. Obviously, we have a paid section with our elite picks, our elite data, but there's still reason for you to join if you just want to be free, especially the dudes asking questions in the comments. If you want to learn about gambling, Matty and I have
On a warm summer's evening,
yeah,
on a train
educated.
bound for nowhere, I met up with a gambler. We were both too tired.